be very open. No matter what you know and how confident you feel, there is a lot that you don't know about or you don't know enough about. Hello everyone, I'm Zenas. I'm the Chief People Officer from MAMEE Double Decker. With human capital, it's always about stakeholder management. It's also partnering with the business. So what we need to do is to spend time following up with initiatives and projects that we're working with the other head of departments that we're supporting, and also spending time with the team, right? Because one person can't do everything, so we need to work as a team to deliver value to the organization. So there'll be discussions and meetings, reviewing the things that we've done so far, what else we need to do, resolving issues, and that ends up taking up the bulk of the time. But at the end of the day, I do also still try to reflect, right, on the things that are important, right, bringing back to the mission. So at the end of the day, spending some time to continue dreaming, because the people agenda itself is very key to MAMEE, and it's of course very key to human capital, because that's our bread and butter, and it should always be evolving, because our people, our talents are continuing to evolve, and we need to be at the forefront to make sure that they can get to where we aspire the organization and our people to head towards. Okay. Well, we rely on both system as well as our own framework. Obviously, we use Excel, we use PowerPoint. But the key thing is, the key ingredients to having a good talent framework is that we have identified what are the key positions in the organization, what are the success profiles in order to excel in these positions. And then on the other part will be who are our potential successors, and also be able to determine where they are in terms of the skills, knowledge and competencies required for those positions. Then from there, it's a matter of developing very robust as well as targeted development programs to ensure that they will be able to then move on to the next level. So most of our HODs are very invested in this. From MAMEE University to Management Academy, they already know who are their people, and they have also, working with human capital, mapped out the paths, not just development, but also in terms of actual real work. What is the next positions that they must take before heading towards the top level? So those are important. You cannot really run away from any of them. The pandemic was a strain on everyone. We all know that. We ourselves have our own horror, painful stories. But I think looking at it positively, the pandemic did quite a lot of things for the organization, for the industry. Not just Malaysia, not just FMCG, but worldwide. Very easy to, of course, list is remote working, using virtual technologies, collaborating digitally. All those are good. It just pushed the boundaries, and then the acceptance level itself is all-time high. So that's great, because then now you can get connected, you can actually work anywhere, anytime. Of course, there are also the bad parts of it, right? There's no longer work-life balance. We're now talking about work-life integration, meaning to say you're working at home, right? And you're working until, it's no longer 5 or 5:30. It's beyond that. But then allows us flexibility and freedom to be able to do when it's the best time for you to do, right? The other consequence of the pandemic, right, is besides us changing the way that we work and distributing our workforce, it is also through the challenges, right? World conditions, everyone knows it's VUCA. There's no way around it. It's VUCA already. But that has created opportunities for us in human capital and our own monsters as well to become more agile. To be able to then start taking shocks and learning how to bounce back, and then maybe achieving some degree of flow. So I think that's good, because if there wasn't any of these external shocks, right, we would just maintain it as we are. But because of the pandemic, it actually created opportunities for our monsters to become challenged in ways they never thought they would be challenged before, and how to actually bounce back and then make things work. Past few years, definitely the pandemic, as I mentioned, but we tried to get the organization to focus on the positives and draw out, new policies, procedures that allowed remote working. We also worked with our business technology team to ensure that there were a lot of tools and technologies that made it easy for our staff to get connected, remain connected, and also pull data wherever they require. So our investment in SAP SuccessFactors, in SAP with their business intelligence, it made it very much easier. But the challenge was on our ground. We are a manufacturer, so we have a total population of about 2,000 to 2003. If we look at all the other countries where we've got manufacturing facilities, of course more. The people on the ground, our frontline production team, our sales guys that had no choice but to go out and continue selling, we had to take care of them. And of course they were lost. With regards to the regulations from KKM, from MKN, can be confusing. What they cannot do. I think most organizations, human capital was running the show. So we did that. We actually guided. We were the front. We made sure we knew what to say and how to go about continuing the business. So that was challenging, but it was also rewarding. We managed to keep all our workers safe. There were very little clusters within MAMEE Double Decker. We made sure that our workers got their food. If they couldn't go out to buy, we actually made sure that we got packed food, gave it to them. And small little things that I think helped the workers and even our sales reps to feel that we looked after them. And then in turn, they gave us double, triple fold. I think it's the team. It's leading the team, seeing them grow, seeing them getting better in what they do, becoming more confident, able to spend. That means do more within their repertoire, and that's rewarding, because at the end of the day, we can't just talk about developing others without developing our own people. So in human capital, I think I'm glad to, and it's rewarding to see the team members that I've worked with in the past and I do work with now, getting more and more value add. They're able to value add more. They feel that they're continuing to grow, and I think that's a good reward. Now, the other answer will be the people. If we are able to see our people meeting the company's aspirations, but they themselves, they're also growing, just like my team members. If they can grow, they can become more confident, able to do more, and they're always engaged. I think we meet our KPI. We meet our top KPI, and that is, getting our people to be able to do more and feel engaged doing so. Skills and knowledge, as well as competencies, right, comes in different forms. We have to address all. That means exposure to industry best practices through conferences, their own self-readings, but at the same time on-the-job training. So that's where myself, as well as my senior managers, we will guide, we will coach and mentor, right? And I think that's basically covering the bulk of it. So anything to do with the challenges that the business is facing, and it's something that the team may not have experienced in the past, then it's important. Team leaders do give the guidance. We can buy books, we can actually go online as well, but ultimately I think it's guidance from the seniors who have had much more experience and exposure. Technical skills, send them through course, read materials, go for training. I think that's easy. However, how much do they absorb and how much do they recall, that's a different thing. But our practice has always been, and even my own practice has always been, whatever we've sent them to, we've invested in them, they ought to come back and practice. So our role is then to bring it into the field, so to speak, into the workplace. by not like giving the answers, right? But in a sense that whatever you've gone through, whatever you've studied and learned on your own, start applying it. What are things that you would do? And our role is then to guide them, make sure that, if potentially they'll fall somewhere, they don't, right? But of course, when there's situations whereby they make some mistakes and all that, our role is to say, no problem, get back onto the horse, continue on. Where possible, we will also guide them to go for the best path, right? So that's moving the technical into reality, into the actual workplace. Now, soft skill wise, a lot of it is mentoring and coaching. Soft skills, it's very important, right? We are from human capital, we'll always say EQ and all that is important. So most people have, or they have enough but they require more. It's through coaching and mentoring that we can help them. How do they present and create relationships, and how do they sustain and advance those relationships with others, especially stakeholders. My team definitely, because I don't want them to feel, hey, we talk about getting others to learn up new skills, but you tend to be very selfish with your own team. No, of course I cannot do that, right? As a general practice within MAMEE Double Decker, the wholesome development of any of our monsters, right, is not just about work, and it's not just about getting better at their work. Sure, that's key, that's most important. So we invest in those areas, but we feel that there are other things that actually pique a person's interest, and it comes together, right? So you're very good in your job, but you feel that you're part of the organization that looks at other aspects of your life. So I'll give you an example. We call it the short burst engagements, where we get a speaker, and then over lunch period, 1 or 2 hours, we let whoever who's interested to get involved and to participate. We did have one on personal branding. Yeah, sometimes you say, hey, related to work, because we're all branding ourselves. But the trainer also went into how you dress, the type of clothes for your body style, the colors that will make you feel different. So we thought that it might be of interest to anyone and maybe a lot of people. So why not just provide that? It may not actually meet their daily KPIs, but it allowed them to feel excited, right? And also pick up something else that they may not have picked up elsewhere. So that's the value we want to bring to our monsters now. Well, we recognize that interviewing only, right, and that normally, I think even Mackenzie brought up that it scores very low in terms of accuracy. So we have actually developed in-house assessment tools, whereby we actually, example, even our core values, we want to make sure that this person scores well enough to make sure that this person fits into our culture, because our culture is very unique in the sense that it's very fast moving, but we still require this person to be agile enough to be able to navigate. We also expect this person to be very involved and also still be very creative in how he or she does their work. So one of the assessments that I mentioned to you is in-house built to measure a person's fit to our culture. But we also rely on other tools like emotional quality profiling, and also we have another one which is on learning agility. We emphasize on that a lot because when we bring in somebody, we want to make sure that this person is already a talent, easier to work with, right? And not only that, when this person is a talent, we want to partner and collaborate with this talent so that he or she grows, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning. So the learning agility allows us to put the right bets in making sure. On skills and knowledge, besides the interview, we also do have assessment centers whereby we got questions, and then we get this person to prepare or even to present, put together a presentation deck and then present to us. So we do practice a variety of tools and means to make sure we get a solid person from day one. We are always on the lookout for talents, right? As you know, Eddie, MAMEE Double Decker, we're growing pretty aggressively. Recently received a couple of awards. Besides Deloitte putting us as the best managed companies, we also have MIDA awarding us the Principal Hub status. But part of the conditions is for us to reinvest back into our talent, right? So we do it in two fronts. External, we continue to look for talents because that adds new skills and knowledge to the organization. But we also cannot forget that we are committed to growing our internal talents. The commitment to continue to invest in talent overall is an important KPI for human capital here. So we will continue to do that, and in terms of the kinds of people that we bring in, will be those that will add on to our repertoire of capabilities. So we are focusing a lot on digital, on analytics, even human capital. We are looking for people with exposure in talent management, talent development. In sales and marketing, we're looking for people who have worked on very huge campaigns, or those who have been able to use small budgets but be able to create big impacts. So we're very clear. Every department, we know where our skills are, skills and knowledge, what we do need, and with that, then it's easier for us to start looking either externally or growing our people internally to be able to have those skill sets. Our group CEO actually pushed us, right? We had our roadmap, but he was like, let's do faster. So within MAMEE Double Decker, we have identified our successors already to critical positions, head of departments and so on. Now, we have also put them through a development program so that, from finance to leadership to whatnot, they have all the skills and knowledge required. But what was lacking was their exposure to, or not say lacking, but they could do better if they had more exposure to how the business was run. So our group CEO said, when we have our management meeting, let all successors be included. Bring them in as well, so that they can participate, they can also present their ideas, ask questions, but also be able to see how the business is at every point in time, and how we're running the business by making decisions, how the decisions are made, and what are the results from those decisions. So successors and the next in line as well, I think they find it great, that I can actually see the group CEO in action with the head of departments, and these are the things that are at the forefront, are on the table that needs to be discussed, and they are able to participate as well. So I think that is good. MAMEE University, on the other hand, it is for our emerging and young talents, right? We cannot just focus on the senior people, right? But because at the end of the day, it's the emerging and young talents that's going to bring us to the next 10 years. So we have also started a virtual, we call it a MAMEE University, and it is through assessments that they are actually into this program. We will have various cohorts, one after another, but they of course typically go through a development program. But it's not only that. Operational exposure, experience, we also want them. That means we want them to pick up. That means we know when they become the future leaders of MAMEE Double Decker, right? What are the things that they require? So being ambassadors, being the understanding, that our hierarchy itself, we are inverted. So the group CEO is at the bottom. Our frontliners are the workers, the sales reps, they are at the top. So we support and we service them. So they need to understand that. So we build it into the program. We get them to work in the factory together with the production workers. So these are assistant managers, senior executives that have not even stood like 1 hour, just continue standing 1 hour in their life. They're actually on the line together with the production workers, putting in all the plastic foils into the noodle cups. And we also, it's not only production now, we also send them out into the field. So they will follow our sales reps. When the sales rep go on calls, they actually see, wow, this is what we need to do. We need to go to our shelves to see whether all the products are available and the products are presented nicely. If not, go and carry from the warehouse or from the store, bring it to the shelves, present it properly, then together with the sales rep, talk to the store owner. What's the issues today? How can we assist? So we get all these participants in MAMEE University to have operational exposure as well as classroom. So we do a variety of those things to make sure that when they graduate, they are good leaders within our expectation of what are good leaders for our monsters. Definitely, because the younger generation, right? We're talking about the Generation Z. They are just wanting to pick up as much as possible, express themselves, their own identity within the organization. Rather than letting them loose, and without any direction, having a career path would help both the organization and them to be at least a little bit grounded. And of course, we've got plenty of experienced people, senior people. We've got a lot of Generation X, that shored up a lot of years of experience, and they've taken the hard knocks. It's a good opportunity for our X as well as our Z to collaborate, work together, because there are things that both can benefit from each other and leverage on both parties. I myself, I'm in a Generation Y, so the Generation Y can be the bridge. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think having a set career path, and then it provides the guide, it provides the traffic lights that allows people to grow. Okay, well, yeah, I do have an example. I've got a team member who's been working with me for about 12 years already, right? And she was with me from the our previous organization before we joined MAMEE Double Decker. And I think that 12 years, right, I think we've grown together, both myself on a professional basis as well as herself professional basis too. We've covered a lot of different areas within human capital. I think we've actually covered the entire spectrum. And the way I actually did it was that, again, we have to recognize talent. It's very important, right? And we got to recognize people who are ready and willing to be coached. Not everyone is ready and willing to have a mentor, I guess, also, in that sense. So the gamut of development, right? You never run away from it, the development courses, moving the people, moving, my ex-staff who's still with me, moving her in different roles. But at the end of the day, right, always guiding, always being there to be able to be the sounding board, to be the person that says, don't worry, I've got your back. You just go out and do what you think is right. But if you're not clear, check with me. I will give you some directions and guidance. But go out, try it. Even if you fail, not to worry, I've got your back. Having that approach allows people to really grow. I even say to the newcomers here in MAMEE Double Decker in human capital specifically, if you are able to be stretched, I will stretch you, because that's the only way you'll be able to learn and grow. It is a very open, collaborative environment, as you can see. We even have a restaurant. We won't even call it a cafeteria, it's a restaurant. MAMEE Jonker House Express, highly subsidized, right? So you don't have to, our monsters don't need to go out. But if they do want to go out, it's fine. But if they want restaurant grade food, example, fettuccine pomodoro, right? With crispy chicken fingers, we just have to pay 9-10 ringgit for that kind of meal. So it's very collaborative, engaged. We do want to give our staff the best, and that's just day to day. But in terms of benefits, right? Birthday leave, we've got a lot of leave, but we just add on another one, birthday leave, so that our monsters don't be like, "Ayo, my birthday is on a Monday, I have to work." In this case, no, you have a birthday leave. So if your birthday is on a Monday, it's fine. You take a holiday, right? We do have flexi benefits, whereby we put an amount of money, so you can use it for optical, specialist, dental, up to you. We also take care of the families. So what I've just shared, the families can also enjoy that. They can, the bill will be paid for by the company lah. Your usual gamut of transportation allowance, all the various allowance, overtime for those that work overtime, eligible for it. Yep, it's all there. Yeah. Training, benefits like training, tea time talks that I mentioned earlier, development programs. Yeah. Well, definitely believing in yourself, which I'm sure you all believe in yourself 100% already lah. You guys you're highly confident. But I think in this case, right, be very open. No matter what you know and how confident you feel, there is a lot that you don't know about or you don't know enough about. But all that experience and all that knowledge, skills or competencies, right, are out there. So my advice is engage and connect with as many people as possible, including the Gen X or even baby boomers lah. Connect and then have good personal relationship with them. And you realize that not only that, the kinds of returns that you get, right, will help you in your professional life. Yeah. Just not only in the company, in the community. Get involved, create as many connections as possible. You never know when something or someone will be able to help you break through some challenges. Yeah. So that's my advice.